Cars Channel News and Review Car.
(2018) Subaru 15. When crossovers and SUVs got their second wind on the market, automakers jumped on the opportunity to open the gates and flood each and every segment of the market with as many models as possible. But some automakers have taken an interesting approach where they take a car body and throw it on a jacked-up chassis and suspension, a quick way to create new models without spending heaps of cash on research and design. The new Subaru 15 is one of these models and, like the 2016 Subaru 15 concept, it sports the body of the 2017 Subaru Impreza 5-door with a raised suspension, just enough to make it appealing to the masses who, predominantly, love these high-riding people haulers a lot more than they probably should. The big news, however, is that the new 15 is built upon Subi's revamped global platform that brings extra rigidity and strength to the table. There's also a revamped suspension system, revised interior, and 80% of the parts used in that 2.0-liter boxer engine have been revamped to deliver more power and better fuel economy in an overall lighter package. As was the case with the first 15 model that hit the market in 2013, the 15th is essentially an Impreza with jacked-up suspension, but this time around, Subaru has gone the distance to make the 15th safer, stronger, more powerful, and nicer inside and out. When it comes to strength and safety, we're not exactly talking small numbers either. The new 15, according to Subaru, offers an increase in torsional rigidity of 70% and a decrease in body roll of 50% compared to the outgoing model. But, before we get too far into that, let's stroll down the page talk more about the all-new Subaru 15. So, at first glance, it literally looks like Subaru took the standard 5-door Impreza, threw beefier suspension under the body, and called it a day. But that's not exactly the case, as there are some subtle differences that set the model apart outside of the raised suspension. First of all, the 15th is designed to be more off-road friendly, so there's extra cladding along the bottom of the front and rear fascias, around the wheel wells, and along the side skirts. The fog lights in the front fascia also get different inserts and lack the chrome accents found on the 15th's lower-sitting brethren. The 15th is designed to be more off-road friendly, so there's extra cladding along the bottom of the front and rear fascias, around the wheel wells, and along the side skirts. Around back, you'll find the same taillights and rear hatch as the standard Impreza, but the rear fascia is slightly different, featuring cladding only on the corners and a different design in the center of the lower fascia. The rear corner reflectors are also larger on the 15th. A feature that should make it easier for others to see you at night if you're roaming the countryside. All told, the new 15 rides 220 mm off the ground, 8.66 inches, but new suspension mounts that are more rigid drop body roll by 50% while offering better energy absorption and less twisting of the chassis. The 15th gets its own unique wheels in Subaru's lineup, and there are now 2 new colors on offer that include cool gray khaki and sunshine orange, both of which are said to contrast against the matte black cladding well. The interior of the new Subaru 15 brings a lot of change into play. First off, let's talk about the dash. The dual screens are still there, but the upper screen doesn't have as large of an overhang, while the infotainment screen below has been updated to an 8-inch unit. The screen now sits higher in the center stack, and the central HVAC vents have been positioned to the sides of the screen instead of above. The instrument cluster doesn't have the appearance that it protrudes out of the dash as much thanks to the redesign of the top pad on the dash. The instrument cluster still rocks dual analog gauges, but in the middle sits a 4.5-inch TFT display that displays digital speed readings and other information for the driver. Thanks to the design of the rearmost portion of the dash pad, the door trim and dash blend together nicely in a wraparound fashion at top, while the trim inserts around the door handle and above the glove box also create a link between the two. Thanks to the design of the rearmost portion of the dash pad, the door trim and dash blend together nicely in a wraparound fashion at top, while the trim inserts around the door handle and above the glove box also create a link between the two. The door trim panels are all new, with the armrest curving upward toward the door handle sharply to provide easier access to the window controls, while there are larger speakers in the lower portion of the trim and a deeper storage pocket. In an opposite fashion, the center console is now flatter and wider than before, but thanks to the addition of an electronic parking brake, the center armrest now sits farther forward and should provide better comfort for front passengers. Finally, the front seats get an all-new stitching pattern and layout, with added side support for the cushion and backrest. Rear seat passengers get a similar view as far as the door panels and trim go. The rear seat backs feature a 60-40 split to allow for expandable cargo room. Subaru hasn't elaborated on just how much cargo room, passenger volume, or space there is, but we should learn more about that closer to its official launch. At this point, very little is known about the new 15's drivetrain, but Subaru has said that the 2.0-liter, direct injection, 4-banger has been revised. At this point, very little is known about the new 15's drivetrain, but Subaru has said that the 2.0-liter, direct injection, 4-banger has been revised. In fact, 80% of the parts have been revised to help make the engine lighter while delivering better power and efficiency. As to how much power and efficiency is a complete mystery, but something tells me we shouldn't expect too much. The 2.0-liter in the current 15 Crosstrek pumps out 148 horsepower at 6,200 revolutions per minute and 145 pound-feet at 4,200 revolutions per minute. So, the new model could offer upward of 160 ponies and 155 pound-feet, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. As far as transmissions go, there's no word as to whether or not the 5-speed manual will be available, but the CVT should carry over, as Subaru has said the new 15 features a 7-speed manual mode function for a more engaging driving experience. Expect the 1,500-pound towing capacity to carry over, while fuel economy for CVT models may increase from 26 miles per gallon in the city and 33 miles per gallon on the highway to 28 and 35, respectively. Expect models equipped with the 5-speed manual, if it carries over, to offer somewhere around 24 miles per gallon in the city and 32 miles per hour on the highway. As one would expect, the 15th comes standard with Subaru's awesome symmetrical all-wheel drive system. But, the system has been updated to include something called X mode that is said to offer increased drivability and optimized control of the engine. The system will also apply the brakes as needed to help control tire slip on slippery surfaces and when traveling downhill. Subaru has always been committed to safety, and the new 15 is no exception. First off, the new 15's center of gravity is 5 mm lower than before, which helps with maneuverability in iffy situations, while the frame structure and high-tensile steel plates offer a significant increase in energy absorption to the tune of about 40%. On top of this, however, there are a number of other driver assistance features that include pre-collision braking, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, high beam assist, steering responsive headlights, blind spot protection, lane change assistance, and reverse assistance. Of course, most of this is included in the EyeSight Driver Assist package, so you won't likely get most of the features on the entry-level model, and most may only be optional on the mid-trim models. The range-topping model of the current 15 Crosstrek offers the EyeSight package as an option, so that isn't likely to change, just something to think about. The current 15 Crosstrek starts out at $21,695, while the mid-level premium trim comes in at $22,495, and the range-topping limited trim comes in at $25,195. Subaru shouldn't increase its pricing for the 15th too much if it wants to remain relevant, but mild increase that puts the entry-level price closer to $22,500 and the range topper closer to $27,000 wouldn't be too bad. But, for now, we'll just have to wait to see how Subaru plays its cards later this year. There are more than enough compact crossovers on the market, so we could give you enough reading material in this section for days. However, I've decided to pick out a couple of decent contenders that will make good alternatives to the Impreza-based 15. The Honda CR-V entered its 5th generation for the 2017 model year, so it will be sporting a fresh design when the new 15 hits the market. As far as dimensions go, the CR-V is quite similar to the expected dimensions of the 15th, starting out with a 102.8-inch wheelbase, to go with an overall length of 169.1 inches, height of 63.2 inches, and a width of 69.8 inches. Under the hood, you'll find that the entry-level LX gets a 2.4-liter with 184 horsepower and 180 pound-feet of torque on tap, while other trim levels get a 1.5-liter turbo mill that pumps out 190 ponies and 179 pound-feet, both of which mate to a CVT transmission. All can be optioned with all-wheel drive, but it comes at a $1,300 premium. But, Subarus have always been known to have exceptional value, so it should come as no surprise that you'll have to